Hello students. In this lecture today, we are going to continue with Chapter 1 Electrostatics of 12th class Physics. Let us recall what we have studied about electric field in our previous lecture. We have done two definitions of electric field. One qualitative one, that was electric field due to a charge is the space around the charge in which its electrical influence can be felt by other charges. And the other one was quantitative definition. That was electric field at a point due to a source charge is defined as the force experienced by a unit positive test charge placed at that point. Remember, it should not disturb the source charge. Now we know that electric field is also called as electric field intensity and electric field strength or electric field strength. So recall the expressions that we had derived. Suppose F bar is the force experienced by charge plus Q naught, which is a test charge at any point in the field of charge Q. Then F bar upon Q naught is force experienced by unit positive charge. And that is nothing but electric field value or electric field strength E bar at that point. And after writing that definitions equation in the mathematical form, then you can put the value of for F bar using Coulomb's law, where Q is a source charge, Q naught is a test charge, and R is the separation between the two charges. After writing the expression for F bar and doing simplification, the final expression that we got was E bar is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square into R cap. So what is the magnitude of E bar, electric field value? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square. Now what is this? This is the electric field at any point around the charge, source charge Q at distance R from it. And remember that the charge was supposed to be in vacuum, and hence we have epsilon naught in the denominator. And what is R cap? R cap is a unit vector which gives the direction of E bar vector. Okay, and it is a direction in which the unit positive charge would move if placed at that point. I hope you remember what we have done in the previous class. So, we have derived an expression for electric field at any point due to one point charge. In today's lecture, we are going to continue with this topic, and we are going to find electric field due to a system of point charges or a group of point charges, or we can say discrete distribution of point charges. Discrete means they are not continuously available on one place, they are distributed at different points. So in this case we can consider a point charge, we can consider a system of point charges Q1, Q2, Qn placed in vacuum at different points. Okay, now here in the diagram I have just shown 3 point charges Q1, Q2, Q3. These are the point charges which constitute the system. And let us say we want to find out electric field due to this system at point P. And I have considered here the distance between Q1 and P is R1P. The distance between Q2 and P point is R2P. The distance between Q3 and P is R3P. And what is R1 cap? Unit vector from Q1 towards P. R2 cap is a unit vector from Q2 towards P. And R cap 3P is a unit vector from Q3 towards P. Just you have to say R1P cap, R2P cap. Okay. Now in this case, to find the electric field value at point P, imagine that you have brought a test charge plus Q naught at this point. And then just proceeding in that manner, we can find out first electric field E1 due to this charge Q1. Then E2 electric field at this point P due to this charge Q2, and similarly we can find out E3 bar, which is electric field at point P due to the charge Q3. So we will get this expressions. E1 bar is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1P square into R1P cap. Here I have considered that all the charges are positive, and so positive will repel positive charge. It means force between these two should be that of repulsion. So this should be the direction of E1 bar and hence it will be of R1p cap only. So here R1p cap. Similarly, we can write E2 bar is this. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 upon R2p square into R2p cap. So we can write this for n point charges if we have a system of n point charges, and just the way we have found force in case of a charge due to a distribution of point charges using superposition principle, we can find out here the net electric field at point P due to a distribution of these point charges. What it will be? It will be the vector sum of electric field strengths at this point P. So by using the triangle law, parallelogram law or polygon law of vector addition, we can find out this net electric field value at this point P by simply using the superposition principle. Here for simplicity, I have taken 3 point charges, system of 3 point charges, and just see E1 I have represented by this vector. E2 here this one, and E3 electric field due to Q3 as this. Let us just recall how to add these three vectors. Now how we'll add? Take first E1 and E2, okay? E1 and E2, I have just displaced them here, and using parallelogram law, I have found the resultant of E1 and E2 and called it E12 bar. So E12 bar is a resultant of E1 and E2 which I have got by using parallelogram law. Then now take this E12 bar, I have drawn here, okay, displaced here, and now I have taken E3 bar. So E3 bar and E12 bar. So again using the parallelogram law, we can find out that this diagonal represents the resultant of these two vectors. So here, if we consider these 3 point charges, group of 3 point charges, then the net electric field at point P is E13 bar. Okay. Similarly, when you have n point charges, you can do the same method. You can find out the net electric field. I hope this is clear to you. Now, in your 10th class, you have studied magnetic field, and you have also studied how to represent the magnetic field by using magnetic field lines. Hope you remember you had drawn the magnetic field lines of a bar magnet, of a straight current, around a straight current carrying conductor, or around a circular current carrying coil or loop, then magnetic field inside the current carrying solenoid. Similarly, here to represent electric field on a paper, you need to use something, you need to have something to represent it, and electric field lines are something, it is something that we use to represent electric field. Now what is electric field line? An electric field line is an electric field because it is used to represent electric field. So an electric field line in an electric field is the path which can be straight or curve along which a unit positive charge would move if it is free to do so. Okay, you can compare it with magnetic field line. In that magnetic field lines we have, it gives, instead of unit positive charge, we can take unit north pole. Okay, so here electric field lines, they are the imaginary lines actually which are drawn on paper, which can be straight or curve, and they give the direction in which the unit positive charge would move if it is free to do so. Now, if suppose the electric field line is straight, then we know just like magnetic field line, it should be straight or curve, but it should also have an arrow on it because you have to tell the direction in which the unit positive charge would move. So if this line with this arrow represents electric field, okay, this is an electric field line, then we can say this gives the direction in which the unit free positive charge would move. And this is only the direction of this vector electric field at that point. So electric field line gives us the direction of electric field strength also at any point. Here this is the electric field line and this is only the direction of electric field strength at any point on this line. Suppose if your electric field line is not straight, it is curved like this. Okay, if it is curved like this, now again curve, but it should have an arrow. If this is an electric field line, that at any point The tangent to the electric field line at that point gives the direction of electric field at that point. Okay, so it means when you draw the tangent here, see, the tangent will have a different direction. So electric field will have a different direction here and different magnitude also maybe. So the direction of electric field is given by electric field lines. If it is straight, then the straight line itself gives the direction of electric field at any point on it. If it is curved, if electric field line is curved, then at any point on it, the tangent to the electric field line at that point gives us the direction of electric field strength or electric field intensity at that point. Hope this is clear to you, but this is a new topic. You should revise this to it should be on your tips actually. Now let us see the properties of electric field lines. First property, the electric field lines never intersect each other. Why? Because if two electric field lines intersect each other, then at the point of intersection, there will be two directions of electric field, which is not possible. Just have a look at these two diagrams. Suppose if this is one electric field line and this is another electric field line, then this is the point where they intersect. Then at the point of intersection, E bar will have this direction as well as this direction. But at one point, E bar should be constant. It should have constant magnitude and one direction, not two directions. So an electric field at any point cannot have two directions. So this is not possible. Even when we consider two curved magnetic field lines, then if this is the first electric field line, we are talking about electric field lines, magnetic field lines, actually same property is there in magnetic field lines which you have started in 10th class. You remember there we say that two magnetic field lines do not intersect each other because at the point of intersection there will be two directions in which the magnetic compass needle's north pole would point. Similarly here, if we have two electric field lines intersecting, whether they are straight or curved, in this case when they are curved, due to this line, this is at this point of intersection, draw the tangent. So this will be the direction of electric field at that point, and due to the second electric field line, if we draw the tangent at the point of intersection, this E2 bar, this tangent gives the direction of the electric field at that point. But at any point, electric field cannot have two directions. So again here, if the two lines intersect, then there will be two directions of electric field which is not possible at any point. And hence we should accept that the electric field lines never intersect each other, and the question may be asked, why two electric field lines never intersect each other, two or more? Because if they intersect, then at the point of intersection there will be two, or if they say more field lines, then accordingly there will be more directions of electric field, which is not possible. I hope this point is clear to you. Now let us see the second point. The relative closeness of the field lines gives an idea about the relative strength of electric field. It means you have electric field lines representing one electric field and electric field lines representing some other electric field, or even in one electric field if there are lines. Then in the region where the lines are closer, the field will be stronger. Where the lines are further apart, if they are further apart, the field will be weaker. So the relative closeness of the field lines gives an idea about the relative strength of electric field. In the region where field lines are closer, the electric field is stronger, and the region where they are further apart, the field is weaker. This is again same property as that of magnetic field lines. So the third property of the electric field lines is, the electric field lines, they start from positive charge and end at negative charge. And in the bracket I have written perpendicular to its surface. It means whenever they start from positive charge, at the surface from where they arise, they are perpendicular. Or even when they end at negative charge, at the negative charge surface, they are ending perpendicularly only. Okay. This point you will understand better after we finish these properties. You will understand them better when I draw the electric field diagrams. Fourth property, the electric field lines do not pass through a conductor. It means if you have a conductor, closed conductor, the electric field lines will not pass through the conductor. So inside the conductor, there are no electric field lines. In other words, electric field inside a conductor is always zero. Okay. And fifth property is, in a charge-free region, they are continuous curves without any break. You can just write this much also, that electric field lines are continuous curves without any break. Remember, in the magnetic field lines we write they are closed continuous loops. But in this case they are not closed continuous loops, they are continuous curves without any break. I hope the properties you should learn the properties and will try to understand those properties with the help of electric field diagrams now, and then I hope the properties will be clear to you. Now students, you have already understood the property that electric field lines never intersect each other that I had explained you before. Okay. And we had seen one property, the relative closeness of the field lines gives us an idea about the relative strength of electric field in a region. So wherever the lines are closer, see in this case I have drawn, first of all these four diagrams I have drawn. What are they? They represent electric field lines or electric field. Here we have isolated charge, single point positive charge. So Q is greater than 0. There we have a point charge Q which is less than 0, means negative point charge. Here I have a system of 2 point charges which are positive and having same magnitude. There I have a system of 2 point charges which are separated by certain distance in both the cases, but in this case both are positive. In that case one is positive and the other is negative, although their magnitudes are considered to be equal. So I have drawn here 4 electric field regions, one due to a positive point charge, other due to a point negative charge. This is due to a pair of 2 point like equal charges which are separated by some distance, and here we have a system of 2 point charges which are equal and opposite. Okay. Now first of all, when it is a positive charge, how to draw the electric field line? See, we know that if I have a source charge positive here, if I imagine that you bring a unit positive charge here, what will happen? As per the Coulomb's law, it will get repelled from here in this direction, because it will repel along the line joining this charge and that point, that charge. Similarly, here if I place unit positive charge, it will be repelled in this direction. Here if I place, it will be repelled in this direction. So, electric field lines around a point positive charge can be drawn in this way. You can draw as many lines as you wish, but see that they should not intersect each other at any point or any place. Okay, arrows show such lines arising from this point charge and pointing outwards straight lines gives us the electric field lines of a point positive charge. Similarly, in case we have, instead of positive, we have a negative point charge, and then if I bring a unit positive charge here, what will happen? As per Coulomb's law, it will be attracted towards it. Unit positive charge will be attracted towards a negative charge. And in which direction? Along the line joining the charge and the source charge. Similarly, if the unit positive charge is placed here, it will be attracted along this line. Okay, so in the two cases, the lines drawn are similar, but here source charge is positive. So our test charge, or as per definition, electric field lines give us a direction in which the unit positive charge would move. So since positive charge placed at any point here will be repelled by this charge, so the arrows are drawn outward. In that case, since the source charge is negative charge, and in that case if we imagine unit positive charge placed at any point, it will be attracted by it. So lines are arising, straight lines are arising from that negative charge, but they are pointing towards the negative charge. They are pointing inwards. Here they are pointing outwards from the charge. I hope the two electric field here regions are clear to you. Now in this case what we have done, we have taken 2 point positive charges which are like and equal in magnitude. So just imagine that instead of this, when we have two fields of two charges, obviously we know that like charges repel. So if the distance between them is very large, then they will have separate fields like this. But since they are closer here, so they will repel, and accordingly these field lines will be modified. These field lines will get modified. Because they will be repelled, so the field lines will be curved like this. This straight line will remain straight. So these lines show here that there is a repulsion. There is a repulsion between the two charges. And we can see here we don't have any electric field line. So here electric field is absent. Or here when we place a unit positive charge, it is not going to experience any force. Clear? Now, in that case, when we see that a system of point positive and negative charges, so think that you have these two types of fields and they are brought closer. So positive and negative will attract. So in this case, the field lines of the two charges will get modified in this form. So here between the two charges there is repulsion and there is no field line here. In this case between the two charges we can see the lines. So the lines start from positive charge and end at negative charge, and this shows attraction between the positive and negative charges. Okay, so now let us try to understand all the properties. Few properties I had explained you side by side only. Like I had explained you that two field lines never intersect each other, that we have done. Now one of the properties was electric field lines start from positive charge and end at negative charge. So if we see this, yes, that line is correct, that property is correct. That electric field lines start from positive charge and end at negative charge. But I have written this one point more which can be added with that point only, or you can write it separately. If there is a single charge like in the first and second case, then the field lines may start or end at infinity. So in this case they start from positive charge and they will go away straight. It means they will end at infinity. In the second case, they start at infinity, they start from infinity and end at negative charge. So you can combine this point either with that point where we have written that the electric field lines start from positive charge and end at negative charge, but for a single charge they may start or end at infinity. Okay, or you can write it separately. Then we have also studied that these lines, wherever they are closer, so see in this region, for this diagram, here this is the region where the lines are very close. So here we can say the field is very strong, not this side, not on the right hand side or not on the left hand side of this charge. In this side the field is very strong, and as we move away from the charge, see the spacing between the lines is decreasing, increasing. So they are going further apart. It means the field is becoming weaker. So wherever the lines are closer, electric field is stronger. Where they are farther apart, field is weaker. In this case, so field is very weak between the two charges. In fact, no field is shown here, and here the field is very strong around close to the charges, and especially in the region between the two charges. Okay, here this place the field is very strong, and similarly on the other side we can say close to the negative charge. As we move away from this side, the spacing increases and so the field becomes weaker. So from the diagram of electric field lines, you should be able to decide or guess where the electric field is weaker and which region it is stronger. You should at least know how to draw the electric field lines for a single point positive charge, a single point negative charge, a pair of two equal point charges, a pair of two equal and opposite point charges, here equal and like charges. Okay, and now that property that inside the conductor electric field line cannot pass, that we will study in one of the next topics. Okay, so just remember, electric field inside a conductor is 0. We will be going in depth for this point in one of the next topics. I hope all the properties we have covered now. Okay, and then the topics are clear to you. You should remember how to draw the electric field diagrams. You should remember the definition of electric field. You should remember the properties of electric field. And also one property was that they start or end at the surface point charge perpendicular to it. It means if this is a surface, so from here they are arising perpendicular. It means if I draw a tangent here, so this is perpendicular to the tangent at that point. So just remember that also will be dealing these 2 points, that they field lines start or end at the surface of a conductor perpendicular. Will be dealing with this property in more depth in one of the next topics, and also that inside the conductor the electric field is 0. I hope the other properties are very clear to you, and please learn these 2 properties also. Okay, so we'll continue with this topic in the next video. Hope it is clear to you and you have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you, students.